How y'all doing out there? Wood Small Engine Repairs and Lawn Care with the season tip ending. Those of you who are still out here that remain, you have did good. This is the last 6 weeks of the season, and I'm on express wide capitalization. Right now, it's a must because you have 6 weeks till lawn season ends, and then leaf season begins. And also, when leaf season begins, that's when you start setting up your snow blowers and your snow plows during the months of October 1st, starting off all the way till November. You will be doing your last grass cuts and your leaf cleanups, and that is important to have as many customers as possible due to the fact that leaf cleanup season starts in 6 weeks and the price go to 150 to $250 and the days get shorter. So this is the capitalization time that you want to make sure that you reinvest in yourself. Always make sure your equipment is maintenance first. Before you even spend your money on doing this and doing that, buying extra cars, buying extra clothes, going out, take care of your livelihood first and take care of your customers first. And this will ensure the longevity. Never be the person that's running around trying to decide which jobs you're going to do. Always have your routes planned and thought out. Always have your maintenance number one. Number two, your prices. There's really no such thing as a too low price or a too high price. For example, you go into a grocery store, you go to a restaurant, they have many different prices for their items. The reason why they have many different prices is because there's not one set price ever for landscaping. So those that always want to charge the high price and the work is not at the quality, and you don't have the equipment to be at standard, or you're not on time to do the job, y'all will lose these customers because there's always someone out there more determined than you that want to prove something to themselves. So every year I tell everybody, may the best man, the best company win, and the last man standing. I always challenge myself to be the last man standing at the end of the season, no matter what I endure, because the preparation, time, learning, and the knowledge and experience that I have, being combined with a small engine repairman, is I got a double standard income just based off what I do. Most landscapers only just have that one income, and if your one income is on landscaping, you should be the best at it, and you have the best equipment, have the best customer base, and have the best services provided. For example, a lot of y'all rely on other people to do the jobs for y'all so y'all can take a break. Sometimes you cannot take a break because one costly mistake from each person is going to cost you your future. So you must always take the time, go over your routes, look at your customers, look at who's working for you, see the value of what you're getting out of it. If you're not getting no value of it out of it and you're not having no joy of making money, that means you hit a level where you had hit stress, which is a brick wall, and only you can pull yourself out of that fall. So that's why I say over socialization kills all businesses, because it's not about how many people who you socialize with at the end of the day. It's about who you socialize with at the end of the day. Everything that you do is a creation and you're taking a risk. So if you're going to take a risk that's going to still give you a profit instead of taking a risk that's going to give you 100% loss. A 50% gain is better than a 100% loss. A 75% and 95% gain is better than that. So when you look at how your pay rate goes with commercial and residential, it must equal all out the same. If something is not equaling out in an aspect to make your profits exist to continue service, then you have to drop certain customers. And that's the best thing to do. One apple can spoil the whole bunch. So you have to separate yourself and not make yourselves out here desperate to do stuff that you should have been already done. For example, stop cutting wet grass. If it rains that day, that's the end of the day. Do not be out there trying to cut grass at the last minute and destroy your equipment, because your equipment is your livelihood. We explain that to y'all. It's on a machine. It tells you it's not designed for wet use. Never was designed for wet use, but you guys are out here carrying all this load on you. carrying on your equipment and causing more damage to your business and yourself in the long run. Only take what you need to do jobs. You don't have to have $20,000, $50,000 of equipment just to do a $50 grass cut. That is senseless. Now, if you're doing a clean out, that's understandable that you're bringing more than what you need to the table. And you got to also look out like this. Certain landscapers, they can't afford to go to the shop and pay for repairs because they're irresponsible. You are the target for them to steal your equipment. And the problem is, y'all not understanding, if you got to wait at the shop 2 weeks to a month to get your equipment back and they got to order parts, you're basically out of business because you didn't take your profits and buy other machines to back you up. You just kept depending on these few units that you had. You didn't want to put maintenance into them. And now everything that goes wrong go wrong and will. You have to deal with that reality of this business end of the principle of that. So you must be aware you got to be able to cover your upkeep and up costs every day when you wake up. There's no borrowing no money. There's no waiting for no money, especially if you have a production. They're going to look at you and laugh because you have a production and you have a business and you're not doing enough work. You're not getting up early enough. You're not being responsible enough. So this is where most landscapers fail due to the fact is they're so happy and excited to make money and don't know what to do when they do get it. You pay your bills ahead. You put a little bit to the side. You always plan. If one person do not pay you, do not get upset. Go to the next payment. Sometimes taking that loss is a blessing gain. Because if this customer didn't do you wrong, you wouldn't have gained these three customers that's treating you right. So that's the philosophy that I have. As long as you have the mentality to get up and go to work, something is always going to come your way. It's never going to come your way if you just sitting still, parked in somebody front of somebody's house, getting high, drinking, calling everybody, hey, what y'all doing? You should not be worried about what the next person doing and you're running a business. That's business one on one. You shouldn't be dressed up. You shouldn't be trying to pull up and cut grass in a new car. That stuff is ridiculous because that's the money that you could have invested in yourself. Last winter, no one really made money because it only snowed 3 times. So, if top businesses and corporations have failed based on that scientific fact, you as a person that live in Michigan that's aware of it, we have power outages in the wintertime. So sometimes you're not going to get paid correctly or on time if it's a whole shutdown with the whole state. And that had happened a few times where the governor had to shut the whole state down to an ice storm. DTE power outages, 750,000 people without power. That affected a lot of business operations, a lot of people getting paperwork done. A lot of people couldn't go get driver's license or passport due to the fact because the system was shut down to a power storm. And then when the power storm in the winter shuts down, only way you're going to survive if you have a generator. And that's important. Everybody should always have a generator, especially if you're a landscaper. That's just like you got a lawnmower, but you don't have no blade on it and you still want to cut grass. You cannot be incomplete in this field on anything. One flaw equals a failure. One happy person equals three more customers. So when you pad your routes, you always compete with yourself. Each job that you do, you make it look immaculate. You want people to feel a part of something. You want them to come to you. You should never be begging anybody, do they need services? Your services should stand out. You should be a brand. I don't have to wear this no more, but sometimes I do have to wear it to remind myself what a level I have been. And you will grow, you will build assets really quick. The thing is, you will run out of space. So once you run out of space, you can't expand no more because you have to figure out what you're going to do with all the equipment that you have. And the best thing that you can do, if you don't want to pay for storage or don't want your stuff get stolen, build better relationships with your customers. If you have a great relationship with your customers and you cut the whole block, you will have 2 or 3 customers in your area that will store equipment there for you so you don't have to spend more time on traveling fees and expenses. That saves you time. That increases your production. That makes it solidified that you know when you go cut this block, you're going to make $400 or $500 that day. And if you got the next block, you could probably knock out both in one day, depending on how early you get up. And that's why I say getting up early is the best thing you can do. You get a flat tire, your radiator gone out, you start at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you can recover before 12 p.m. Because once 12 p.m. comes, everybody's out to lunch and ready to close down for the end of the day. So whatever that comes in might not be taken care of that day, it get taken care of the next day. Now you put yourself behind because you didn't use the money to buy time to stay ahead. And it's all about staying ahead. It's all about planning. Only thing that can stop your season is Mother Nature and yourself. Other than that, keep going. Stop over socializing. Only socialize with the people that want to see you have more. When you don't socialize with people who don't want to see you have more, you're going to go through a power struggle because you can't do nothing in this world by yourself. You're going to need allies. You're going to have to choose sides. Are you going to be the good side of the business, or are you going to join the evil side of business? When you join the evil side of business, you're never going to come to the good side where you will be legit and respectable. You will be a person that don't nobody want to deal with. Be the person that people want to deal with. For example, when people come to me, they ask me, "Can I please be on your route? I've been waiting for years." So if a person come to me and been waiting on years to be on my route, and I'm aware of this, the neighbors told them all about me, they're going to come and stop me and ask me, "Hey, Mr. Woods, do you have time? I'm on such and such block. I was referred to you." And most of my business is referral. So if you get my number, that means somebody highly respects you for you to contact me, because I only deal with people that have a mind right. I just realized in the part of business, it's a certain type of customers that you want. You don't want the street customers, because the street customers is going to give you a very bad image. And I'm going to tell you why. You never have your friends or anything pull up at customers' houses. You never have your personal life out here when you're working publicly. You're on display. Somebody is watching you. Somebody is observing you. And then you ask yourself, Woods, why I can't get the customers that you have? Because you doing stuff different. You're drawing attention to yourself in the wrong aspect. You want people to look at your work and be like, wow, I want to be a part of that. You don't want people to look at your bad habit and your character. So you must separate your bad habit when you're out here working with the public. One bad flaw will end it all. One great advice or how you do your job, one great representation is going to lead to bigger and better things. But you have to always be in movement and in tune with your mind to be aware. You're dealing with humans. So you have to speak to people. You have to have a class about yourself and the professionalism that you carry with yourself, because that is your resume. And people are not going to choose you if you have a bad attitude, poor work ethics, and you have bad socialization skills. You must socialize, you must communicate. It's cool to pay people to speak for you, but when they want to hear it from the horse's mouth, that's is when you know you got everyone attention. And sometimes it's not hard to get attention. I learned from Renard, I learned from the top great landscapers that was out here. Everything that they showed me, I listened to. I didn't question. I didn't believe I was better than them. I knew I was younger than them, and I had the advantage because I was a small engine repairman. And the skill that I have, a lot of people wish they have. I wish that I can teach someone this skill, because it helps everybody. And everyone who I did their repairs for, their business took off and they became very successful. Also with the real estate companies and all those CEOs is out here, Captain J's, Jewel Dental, Royal Inc., Royal Fresh Incorporated, State Farm, Inner City Construction, Rims Real Estate, Ruby's Enterprises. It's just a lot of businesses that have other businesses too. So work is always available, but you have to always realize People who want to take care of business will always take care of business first. Them the best customers to have. You don't want people that procrastinate. You don't want no showboat customers. You want down to earth people. And sometimes, to be honest, most of my customers, they just paying me for time because they don't have no one to talk to. So in that aspect, as a business owner, you have to talk to people too. You have to communicate and build a great relationship in order to stay in longevity. This is my 8th year, going on my 9th year as Wood Small Engine Repairs. I didn't think I could get this far, but the reason why I got this far, because the community pushed me for who I was. So I look at people who don't believe in themselves, that got the talent and stuff. You're never going to see who is dying to meet you if you're allowing other people to trap you. And sometimes some jobs trap you where you can't never advance in your life. Like, some people might have a good boss, but your boss is never going to show you how they did step from step to get to where they are, to have you on the payroll, because they don't want you to be your own business owner. They rather have you work for them and pay you a certain dollar amount to believe that you're going to live a certain lifestyle. So that's why I say, being your own boss, you already know what's control of your financial future. It's just, you just can't control who's around you and how people act around you. And that's why I say, you never let people get you geeked up and excited, as and they're not going to help. And what you're doing is, you shouldn't be doing this if you're not trying to stand out to bring up your community. You can't change people, but you can always change things around you. And that's why I tell people, every day you learn something new. And if you don't learn nothing, then you're not applying yourself to be in a position to be in control. Time is something that's created, but you must enjoy the moment. Only way you can enjoy the moment is if you have peace. But most of you don't understand. If you pray to God for something, listen to Him instead of listening to everybody else. Because all the devil was trying to do was take your blessing and have the last laugh. Never give the devil satisfaction. Sometimes he's going to mess with you when you have a bad day. Just sit back and just ask yourself, why am I have this? And look at your success. The reason why I'm going through a little bit of this and going through a little bit of that, I took a lot of people's jobs. So I took food out of a lot of people's mouths. I didn't do it intentionally. I didn't do it in a disrespectful way. I just made sure that my work was a high quality and my price was always fair and reasonable, and I show up on time. So that's the key to the success I have, because I show up on time. I'll listen, and if it's something that I don't understand, I am going to ask, because there's no such thing as asking a stupid question. Now, if you sit there and let somebody explain something to you and you keep doing this, and then you go out there and mess up, you kind of hurting that person's name. So that's why I tell people, when Woods refer you, even my customers and all people will tell you, Woods has a reputation out here that precedes him. And if you are reprimanded by Woods or referred to me by Woods, you have to have a high level of skill that Woods see in you for us to even deal with you. And this is how the game goes. I was working with Renard. He's a highly skilled landscaper that does it all. So he walked away from a lot of corporations and did his thing, and I understood what it took, what it takes, and what you got to do step by step. You don't need everybody to help you make your money. You're just taking the risk and building your name so people will understand that you mean business and you are doing this for the greater good. You're not doing this because you got a certain girl that you like or a certain car you want to drive or certain people you want to impress. You're doing this because you want to show that, hey, this is something to be proud of. This is something that you can hold your head up high. Yeah, you're going to have bad days, but the reason you had the bad days is how you think and how you plan. Always stay prepared, because every time I go out, opportunity comes my way because I'm out there at the right place and at the right time. Even if I don't know I'm there at the right place at the right time, it's just being there in my presence. I'm going to get stopped. I'm going to get asked. I'm going to get flagged down. Hey, hey, I'm going to get pulled up on. And that's the best feeling to have. I feel like I'm famous, but in the right aspect. So these are just tips that Wood Small Engine Repairs I give all people. And like I say, it's all about being prepared. May the best man win. And also watch our health. This year, the sun has been a killer out here. So don't take on more than what you can handle. And remember, sometimes we age and you just have to work a little smarter, not work harder. These are tips from Wood Small Engine Repairs, aka the GOAT, the world's greatest landscaper. Y'all have a great day. Peace.